Hey guys, it's Sarah. Thank you so much for watching. So today I am going to be talking about my January favorites. I have quite a few favorites this month actually. I don't do favorites videos at the end of every month because some months I just don't have enough new or rediscovered favorites to talk about, but this month I had quite a few, so let's just go ahead and get started. So I have kind of a cocktail of 4 products that I discovered this month that I really like. Only one of these is a new product to me, and this is not so much about each individual product as it is about how I like the way that they perform together. I have all 4 on my face right now, and so it consists of 4 things. The first of which being a moisturizer, actually. This is the Paula's Choice Skin Balancing Invisible Finish Moisture Gel, and I had been using this as a nighttime moisturizer for quite a long time. In fact, it's almost gone, and I just recently kind of retired it into my makeup storage to use it as a primer because I was needing something a little bit more moisturizing for the colder months in the nighttime. So anyway, I've been using this as a primer, and it actually makes a lot of sense as a primer because it has just like a clear gel consistency, and it almost feels like one of those skin smoothing, like pore filling primers because it has kind of a silicone feel. And even though it's a gel, it really doesn't have that problem where it pills up underneath makeup like some gel products do. This really doesn't do that, and I think it's because it has more of like a silicone texture to it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is just something I've had for a long time. It's in my project pan right now. It's the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. I do like this foundation. It's not my absolute favorite. I actually like the Physicians Formula Healthy Skin Foundation even more. But this one has a little bit more of a, I don't want to say matte finish, I guess more of like a, really just a skin-like finish, but it's not like a dewy skin-like finish. I don't even know if I'm explaining myself well. But this foundation over the top of this moisturizer that I kind of have been using as a primer, really nice. And then I've just been setting that all over really lightly with the Milani Conceal and Perfect Shine Proof Powder. This isn't really a special powder, it's just the pressed powder that I have on hand right now. And then to top that off, I've been really liking the Pixi Glow Mist. This is the only thing of these 4 things that's new to me. But something about this fusion of products just gives the most like blurred, smooth, and just nice finish to the skin. When I don't want to go for a super dewy look and I want some coverage, not necessarily full coverage, but I want coverage, and I just want my skin to look natural, but I also want it to wear well throughout the day, I feel like these 4 products are just really nice. These would also be great products to wear for pictures. I actually discovered this combination of products when I was getting ready to get my new driver's license because I knew obviously they'd be taking my picture. I wanted my makeup to look good, not overdone, and I just wanted it to look natural but still kind of even and perfected, and I wanted my skin to have just a nice smooth finish. And these 4 products, I don't know what it was about this fusion of products that I just really enjoyed. I'm kind of sad that this Paula's Choice product is almost gone. I don't know that I'd repurchase it because it is so expensive for just a face primer, but this does make me want to explore more like blurring and skin smoothing primers because I really haven't tried a bunch of those, and I don't have any like that in my collection currently other than this. So yeah, really been enjoying that combination of products. Again, it's not necessarily about the individual products, but as the way they work together, I'm really liking. The next couple of things that I have been really enjoying this month were all from my everyday makeup basket for the month of January. That's one of the reasons why I love doing like a Shop My Stash makeup basket every month, because most of the products in there are typically things that I've had for a while, and I can really rediscover some great like old favorites. There's like dust everywhere. So the first thing that I really enjoyed from that makeup basket this month was I really enjoyed everything. I feel like this was just a good month of Shop My Stash. But the Makeup Geek Single Shadow in Voltage, I've talked about this before, and this is like a duochrome yellowy gold. I have it on my inner corner right now. I love this eyeshadow. It's so unique, and it's got this really nice foiled finish to it. Super pretty. There actually is a shade kind of like this in the Balm Nude Dude eyeshadow palette, but this one to me is even a little bit more intense. I love this for the inner corners. It's super brightening. I also love it just all over the lid. Yesterday I did like a halo eye. I didn't take a picture of it, but I did a halo eye with this in the center of the lid and ColourPop Tiki, which is like a matte yellow shade, in the crease and on the edges, and that was really pretty. There's just so many ways to use this, and I just think it's super pretty. If you are wanting to try some Makeup Geek shadows, I feel like they're not all worth it because they are more expensive than ColourPop single shadows. I don't think ColourPop has a single shadow like this, so this is one that I do feel like it really does stand out from the handful of Makeup Geek single shadows that I've tried. The next favorite this month, this is newer to me. It's not really a rediscovered product. I purchased it in December, so I've been playing with it for the past like 2 months. It's the e.l.f. Opposites Attract eyeshadow palette. I did like a 2 looks 1 palette with this if you'd like to check that out. I've just been really enjoying this. I feel like this palette has a ton of variety. You get 18 shadows and the palette is $14, so even though $14 does sound like a lot for an e.l.f. product, I think it's a really good value because they've really stepped up their game with the quality. I remember having some e.l.f. palettes like 4 or 5 years ago that were pretty bad quality. This is amazing compared to what I remember from those. They've really stepped it up. I think what I love about this palette is just how much variety is in here, and it kind of fills some holes in my eyeshadow collection. Like, this whole section right here is all cool tones, and I definitely didn't have a lot of shades like this. I didn't have a matte, just like cool gray in my collection. I didn't have like a deep forest green like this. It filled a lot of voids, and also even on this side, even on the warm side, I didn't have a lot of shades like this either. So I feel like this really expanded my collection of eyeshadows with just this small palette. I also really appreciate the way that they were able to keep this so compact, even though it has a lot of shadows in it. This is the largest palette in my collection, but they were able to keep it so sleek and compact, and they still put the shade names on there. So I thought that was really cool. And even though it does have, you know, some basic neutral colors sprinkled in, I feel like there's not a lot of overlap between this and the other eyeshadow palettes in my collection. So really happy about this find. I think it's a great palette. And the quality, even though it's not like the most amazing quality ever, all the shadows are pigmented and pretty easy to blend. I haven't had any issues with them. Yeah, I just think it's a steal. I like it. And then the other thing that was also in my Shop My Stash makeup basket for the month was the Wet n Wild lipstick in the shade Violet's Kiss. This is a straight up purple lipstick, and I'm really glad that I decided to put this in my makeup basket this month because it forced me to use it again. And this is not the kind of color that I wear very often. I've worn it in a couple of my videos this month, and I just love the way it looks on me. Like, I think it looks really cool. I love pairing like a bold, bright lip like this with kind of a more natural, minimal eye look. Even though it's a bright purple, I still feel like it doesn't look absolutely crazy on me. I don't think it looks any crazier than like a bright red lip. So I have really been enjoying that, and I'm glad that I pulled it out this month. These Wet n Wild lipsticks, they aren't the creamiest, but they have a ton of pigment. They're really long wearing. They're pretty matte, kind of a satin matte finish, and they're only like $1 to $2. So I really want to pick up more shades of these just basic Wet n Wild lipsticks because I feel like it's a great way to kind of sample some colors that you might not feel comfortable wearing all the time, but that are fun to kind of play around with. I also have a hot pink one from this line that I think I'm probably going to put in my makeup basket for this coming month because I've just been having so much fun with this bright lip, especially in like the dead of winter when it's gray outside every day and just like dreary. Something like this is it just makes the day a little bit more fun. So really happy that I rediscovered this. It had been so long since I'd worn this, and I'm really glad that I pulled it back out and used it this month because I think it's a beautiful color. I also have a couple of brushes that I want to talk about this month. All of them are from e.l.f. One of them is one that I recently picked up. It's their highlighting brush. This is actually pretty similar to their small tapered brush, which I use mostly for setting the under eyes. I kind of wanted to have like a backup under eye setting brush because whenever this one is dirty and I haven't washed my brushes in a while, it is kind of nice to have a clean one on backup, you know what I mean? So I bought the highlighting brush because I was kind of intrigued by it. It's a little bit longer, the bristles are just a little bit longer, but they have just about the same amount of taper. Actually, the highlighting brush is even more tapered. And I actually like the highlighting brush even better for setting the under eyes just because, I don't know, I just like the way it like fits. I feel like I can set my under eyes really quickly with it. Not that I can't with the small tapered brush. They're both really similar, but something about the highlighting brush I like just a little bit better. It's a little bit more, I think it's the longer bristles that I like. It just has a little bit more give, and I don't know, it's just really nice and soft. I do love the e.l.f. brushes. So that I've really been enjoying this month. Not to say that I don't still love the small tapered brush. I think they're both really good. And then I had to shout out two of their eye brushes again. The e.l.f. Detail Crease Brush. I think this made it into my best of 2018 video. Even though I'd only had it for like a month, it already made it to like the top. This is like a tiny, tiny crease brush, almost like the size of a pencil brush, but the bristles are a little bit longer and it has a little bit more fluffiness than your standard pencil brush. So I love this for the outer V. Getting a really precise application of eyeshadow in the outer V. And even though it is so small, I still, because of the kind of fluffiness of it, it's not super fluffy, but because it has some taper to it, it does a really good job not only placing the shadow, but blending it. So, I don't know, I feel like this is great, especially if you have small eyes and you struggle to get your outer corner and your outer crease to kind of stay contained where you want it to. This might be what you need, because I feel like this is what's been missing from my eyeshadow brush collection, and I'm so glad that I decided to grab it. This, in addition to just the regular e.l.f. crease brush, their crease brush is a little bit bigger than the Detail crease brush, but it's significantly smaller than your average, like, fluffy crease brush. So for comparison, this is the Wet n Wild crease brush, this is a really fluffy crease brush, and this is the e.l.f. crease brush. It's a lot smaller, and I don't have the smallest eyes. I do have slightly hooded eyes, and sometimes I feel like my eyeshadow can just get kind of messy. And so this allows me to, there's a siren, hang on. And so this crease brush allows me to still get a blended application that I would get with a fluffy crease brush, but it gives me a little bit more control. So these two crease brush, the e.l.f. crease brush and the Detail crease brush, both of which just have the black handles. I've been reaching for these a lot lately because I think I did discover like smaller brushes I think are the answer for me when I'm doing like crease and outer corner stuff. So if you've been struggling with that kind of thing like I was for a long time, I definitely recommend these two brushes. They're $3 each. A lot of times you can get them for like $1.50 when e.l.f. is having a 50% off sale. Highly recommend. I'm definitely planning on picking up more of the Detail crease brush because I love it that much. Just a couple more items to talk about. The first one is, okay, so you might have seen on my Instagram, I finally caved and got the Pixi Glow Tonic. I mentioned recently that I'm hoping to get more into drugstore skincare. I'm sorry, there's just a lot of road noise happening right now. It's like rush hour. Glad I'm not out there driving, but I mentioned recently that I am trying to get more into drugstore skincare. I had been really loyal to Paula's Choice for a long time. I still love that brand. I probably still will continue to purchase a couple of products from them here and there. But I mean, I'm on a budget and I'm trying to save a little bit of money where I can. And I do feel like I was spending more money on skincare than I would like to. So I'm trying to explore more drugstore skincare, find a good, like maybe even a little bit more of a simple routine that's focused on drugstore products. The Pixi Glow Tonic, this is, I think it's $15 for this. I did calculate it, and this is just slightly over half the price of the Paula's Choice exfoliant that I was using, so I do save quite a bit of money with this. I've been using this, okay, I've been only using this for about 3 weeks, and with any skincare product, I definitely want to test it out for much longer than 3 weeks to really be able to tell you how I feel about it. So I mean, I actually would like to use this up completely before I'm able to give you like a real full review. But so far, I feel like I've noticed a huge difference from using this just over the past 3 weeks. In fact, I feel like even within the first 24 hours after I used this for the first time, I feel like I noticed a difference. Could have just been placebo effect, could have just been me, like, could have just been a coincidence, you know? I've always had just a bunch of like tiny little bumps on my forehead. I feel like this has lessened those significantly. I feel like I've been having way fewer breakouts. My skin overall, my skin tone has just been more even. The texture of my skin has been more even. Again, this could all be coincidence. This could just be my hormones just like have decided to calm down. It could just be a total coincidence, but I, so far, feel like I've been having great luck with this. My skin has been looking consistently good for a much longer period of time than it ever has in the past. I honestly want to say even compared to when I was using the Paula's Choice products consistently. I didn't say already, if you're not familiar, this is a 5% glycolic acid exfoliating toner. So I have never used a glycolic acid before this. This is the first time. Glycolic acid is an AHA exfoliant. I previously had been using BHA exfoliants. So maybe my skin just responds really well to AHA's glycolic acid. Obviously I'm going to keep using it My opinion might change, my skin might change, who knows, but you'll definitely hear more from me on this, but just know that so far, I really like it. The last thing I wanted to mention is just kind of a random product. It's a hand cream, and I am one of those people, I cannot be without hand cream. I have to carry it with me in my purse wherever I'm going because after I wash my hands, I feel like my hands just get so dry and I cannot stand that feeling. And I feel like I'm kind of picky about my hand creams because some of them just don't seem to work. Like they'll feel moisturizing at first, but then within like 2 minutes, my hands feel dry again. I don't have like dry, flaky skin on like my knuckles or anything. I feel like it's mostly like this skin. But anyway, hand cream is just like a very important thing to me. So I kind of just on a whim picked up this Derma Rosehip and Almond Protecting Shea Hand and Cuticle Cream. This, I mean, I love just the sound of Rosehip and Almond was like immediately drew me in because I love those two smells, and together that's like even better. I think it smells good. It doesn't smell exactly like I expected. Like I'm not getting a ton of almond from this, but I still think it smells lovely. And I think what I like about it is it doesn't feel super greasy on my hands for like an extended period of time after I've applied it, but it leaves my hands feeling just like silky soft. It's a really nice scent, but it's kind of a light scent. It's not gonna like overpower the space that you're in, or if you're with someone who's bothered by strong scents, it's not gonna be like too strong. So yeah, really happy with this. I think it was probably like $5 or something, but I just think this is really nice. It's vegan, it's cruelty-free, soy-free, if that's important to you. But yeah, Derma is a really cool brand, and I'm wanting to try more products from them because, I don't know, I feel like they're just a cool brand. And I like the packaging too. It's got this pretty like, kind of like illustrated rose pattern on it. Anyway, those are all my monthly favorites for January. I'm really excited for February. I think it's going to be a good month. We've got some exciting videos coming up. I'm excited about them anyway. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.